So to recap what you saw in the demo, Devin started with public data, and he looked for building permits from U.S. Census data. Now he used PowerBI, specifically PowerQuery, to take the CSV files that were really not having a lot of meaning because they consisted of a lot of codes and individual numbers, and he used, as you might remember, some of the functionality in PowerQuery like unpivot to quickly aggregate some of the individual statistics. He then used the feature in PowerQuery of merging so that he could join basically the data dictionary information about the types of activity, in this case the building permits, and the locations. Now he did quite a lot of work on this, and he also decided that he would store this query on an internal server using the new data gateway in Power BI, and he used Power View to make some visualizations, which I'll show you in just a second. He found that Texas, California, Florida, Washington, North Carolina were the target states. So he's got that information, and he's made these Power View and Power Map visualizations so everybody in the company can understand what they're going to focus on next. So now Devin needs to turn this information that he got from the census into some actionable data. And to do that, he needs to work with the DNB data that the company has purchased. So he goes to Maria, the DBA, and he requests a list of the detailed contractor business information from the previous 5 states that he identified. Now this is licensed data, so Maria needs to set up a view that he can then work with and filter and shape so that it can be even more usable for sales and marketing. So Maria has a couple of tasks she needs to do to make this data available to Devin. The first thing is, of course, she's managing the full DNB prospect data file that she's got licensed from DNB. She'll create a view, and she can do that in SQL Server. She can do that using Power BI if she has that available through the gateway, make an OData endpoint, a number of different ways. But most normally the DBA would make this data or some subset of it available to the analyst for this type of work. She then publishes the view. In our scenario, we are going to use the new data gateway on the Power BI admin portal in Office 365. And she has also indexed it so that Devin actually doesn't even need to know the URL endpoint. He can just search using keywords in PowerQuery, which is the way he likes to work. She also has to authorize Devin's account to access the view. So here's a view of Power BI for Office 365. This is currently in preview, just to give you a little bit of a look at it if you've not seen it before. So you can see there, if Maria was, for example, setting up in SQL Server, this is what it looks like to make a table or a view available, and she can enable cloud access or an OData feed or both, and she can set the indexing on as it shows in the bottom left screen, and she can specify which objects are available for Devin to work with. And notice on the menu on the left side, she can also specify users and groups. If it's Active Directory federated, those would be Windows users. Otherwise, it would be an alternate type of security that is appropriate for your scenario. So Devin, once he gets this list, he brings it into PowerQuery, like I said, either by keyword, so he can just type in construction companies, or by URL, the OData endpoint, if Maria gave him that option. And then he's going to apply filters. Now the filters can be applied either by the DBA or the analyst. It just depends on how the data is licensed from DNB and what your company policy is in terms of who has access to it. So in this case, we're going to filter out to find the best construction companies with sales of greater than 5 million, which is this information is available in the DNB data. We're going to find companies who pay their bills on time, and this is based on the Paydex score, which is also part of the DNB data. And then we're going to take information about companies who are actually green certified, and we're going to join to our list of selected construction companies. Green certified is one of the target attributes that we're looking for in the companies that we want to market to because of what we're selling. So in Demo 2, you're going to see Devin work with these 2 data sets that Maria has made available from Dun & Bradstreet, and he's going to join them together to produce a very rich list of target companies for his company to then market their product to. So the first thing is to find the data sets that are available within the organization. And although the DBA could provide the analyst with an OData endpoint that they could just put directly into the OData feed option under From Other Data Sources, an interesting and new option in Power BI is the online search. Once that data is made available and the analyst signs in, as I've done here, then the analyst can search using keywords. So if we scope to the organization and we look for our first data set, which is a list of construction companies. What we see returned are data sets that have been created and made available for this particular user or group of users that we can preview by just taking a look here. Now, if this is the correct data set, then we can go ahead and load that to PowerQuery and do further filtering and shaping, or just load it directly into our workbook. And what this is a set of construction companies from the DNB data set that was purchased for use within the company that has been filtered by the DBA for use for the business analyst to the particular states of interest, so that the business analyst can now create a very useful prospect list. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this while this loads, and then we'll be loading another data set to join this to. So now that this is loaded, the next data set that we need to load is one, again, that has been purchased from Dun & Bradstreet that the DBA has made available through the online search. And this is going to be for green certified companies. So what this is, it's a list of companies listed by DUNS number that not only are self-certified for being green companies, but have been externally certified. That's the cert flag there. So we're going to go ahead and load this data set as well. And then after these are done loading, then we're going to use the merge functionality inside of PowerQuery to join this so that we can have an even more useful filtered subset of the top construction companies by volume, and we can combine them with this green certified flag. So in order to do that, we're going to click on the merge button. And you'll see the green certified companies load, and then we have the construction companies, and we want to merge on the DUNS and include only matching rows. And this will take a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while this match is being created. And now we see that we have a match of 349 out of the 94,000 possible rows, and we're going to click OK. And then the joined result will load to another workbook page so that we can take that as our more fully qualified prospect list as we're continuing to develop. And now you can see that the result of the merge has been loaded into our query editor for further manipulation. So an interesting aspect of this is we have the green certified loaded, and then we have the construction company information loaded as a nested table. And inside of here we want to retrieve some information from this nested table, so we click on this retrieve button, and the columns that we want are as follows. And here we have our result, which includes the DUNS number, the green flag, the certified flag, the new column for the name of the company, the address, the city, the state, and the zip code. We, of course, can go through and rename some of the columns. I won't take the time to do all of them, but I'll take an important one here, which is the green certified. And I'll call this one green certified. And then I'll rename this query to call this green certified top companies, and click Done.